Hello friends, I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. It's the start of another month, so it's time for my look back video at what I played last month, July of 2023. Not only am I looking back at what I played, I'm also giving you a chance to look back at the videos I released last month. So if you missed some, you can go back and check them out. But hopefully you're subscribed and ring the bell icon and you get the notifications and check your feed and see my videos as they come out. But just in case, I go ahead and discuss the ones that I released in July, as well as the new to me games that I played. So let's start about what I released last month. First, it was this video, the look back at what I played in June of 2023, and the 6 new to me games that I enjoyed in that month. And then I did the look back at the top 10 new to me games from the whole year to that point. So halfway through the year, I went ahead and broke down my top 10 favorite new to me games for 2023, and I will do that again with the whole year's worth at the end of the year. That is the plan. So you can check out that video to see what I enjoyed for the first half of 2023 that was new to me this year. Then I did little companion videos where I looked at the 5 games that I've cooled on, the games that I kind of liked at first, and then not so much these days. They don't get as much play for whatever reason. I found other games replace them, whatever the case is. 5 games that I just kind of cooled on. And then, of course, counter that, I talked about 5 games that I've warmed on since I first played them, and now I enjoy them more than I did back the first play. And then I talked about my favorite component from Libertalia, the Winds of Galecrest. So if you like those favorite component videos, you're one of the 10 people who watches them. I enjoy making them, so they're quick, they're easy, and I enjoy them, so I'm going to keep them coming from time to time. If you want to check out my favorite component from Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest, I did that video recently. And then finally, to round out July, I did a review for the game here on my left shoulder, The Magnificent. So if you're interested in checking out a little bit of how to play and my thoughts on The Magnificent from Aporta Games, you can check out that video from last week. All right, so let's get into this video. I'm looking at 6 new to me games I played, but I'm only going to do a top 5, and we'll get into why when I talk about my honorable mention. In the month, I played 42 total times, 42 different times I got a game to a table. 27 of them were different games, different unique games played, which means 15 of them were a replay of some sort or other. I already mentioned 6 new to me games, and then 9 of them were repeats from the previous month, and that goes into just replaying games I like or games, on other lists and for other reasons. So let's talk about the 6 new to me games from July of 2023. We'll start off with my honorable mention, and this is an honorable mention because this game doesn't really exist yet, but I have a review copy of Jimpire Zarman's Demands, and I will be covering that here in the future a little bit more as it gets ready to hit Kickstarter, I believe in September. But I do have a review copy, and I played that a few times, and I look to play it more. So I'm just going to kind of mention that as an honorable mention and talk about it in the future, as that is just a review copy. I'm not going to rate it or have it fall anywhere in this list. But that was a new to me game that I got to the table in July. All right, my number 5 favorite new to me game from July of 2023 is a game called Spicy, a little card game where you're just kind of calling bluffs, going around the table and playing a face down card, and it's got to be the next higher value or a higher value and the same suit or spice in this case. It's a game I've kind of played in the past, Bull. Little take on that old-fashioned card game where it's a little bit of bluffing going around the table and just trying to collect the most cards by winning the stack when you call somebody out on their bluffs. It's a unique game. I'm not big on bluffing games, and it was okay, but I think I just played it twice in both games, or if I played 3 times, all 3 games, but there was a clear runaway winner every time. The person basically just took the big stack once, was clearly going to win. and the rest of the game was just playing it out. So it was okay. I played it kind of as a normal card game. I like the art on it. It's a good looking game, but just not really all that exciting. Good for a laugh and a every once in a while kind of game. But again, I could have just played it with a normal deck of cards and didn't need to buy the spicy version. Although it does have a little bit of twists on being just a deck of cards, so it definitely is an improvement on a deck of cards. But in the end, it's still just that old-fashioned card game. The number 4 new to me game from July of 2023 is a game I played on the Steam Workshop. It's a game I think was on Kickstarter for a while. I don't know if it ever cleared or got canceled, or I looked at it and I don't remember much, but it doesn't seem like it's stuck around yet, other than on the Steam Workshop. It's called Zillertal. It's a card game about building out competitively, but a single tableau with different icons on it, and you've got your scoring cards, and you're just trying to score based on the icons that are on the board when it is your turn. There's some tricks and things you can add to change up the layout from a little here to there, but for the most part, you're just playing a card of the tableau and trying to get credit towards your goals. And it can be played 1 to 4. I played it solo, and I kind of liked it solo. It wasn't bad. It was a good little thinky puzzle to try to figure out. And the competitive game, I could see it being a little rougher as far as trying to meet your goals, because even in the solo game, it was kind of hard to make some of my math work out, and that was just me knowing what I was going to play and what I was building towards. So I couldn't imagine if you had 2, 3, or 4 other players playing along. It could be really frustrating to try to meet the goals, but you've got some ways to mitigate how the board layout looks as outside of the card play you're going to play every turn. When you meet goals, you can take certain other cards that can change what you can do or how it looks. So that was Zillertal, a decent little puzzly tableau building card game. My number 3 new to me game from July of 2023 is Forbidden Desert. This is the second in the Forbidden series of cooperative games, starting with Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Sky, and now Forbidden Jungle, I think it is, or Forbidden Forest is the newest take on that. But in Forbidden Desert, it's a cooperative game where you're going around, you're trying to collect various pieces of your plane so you can fly out from the desert before you basically either roast to death or run out of water. You're working together to go around and clear sand dunes to keep the area clear, because you can't search the areas until they are clear. And you're just working together to get the pieces of the puzzle, which are the ship you're going to take back and build, and then you're flying out together. You hope. I didn't do that. We didn't win when we played yet, but it's a fun game, a lot tougher than Forbidden Island, but in the same vein, and I really enjoyed this one. So Forbidden Desert, a real good take on a cooperative game that's pretty introductory even, so I could see introducing it to plenty of people and playing some more. I might try to pick this one up in the future. My number 2 favorite new to me game from July of 2023 is an Alexander Pfister game called Boonlake. This is a game where you're going around, you've got an action selection mechanism that is really unique, where you're going to pull out one of the actions from the board and then slide it to the bottom of the board, and all the other actions are going to slide up, kind of like a version of the Arc Nova action selection system, but it's not cooperative, but it's a shared action selection. So as you take an action, it's going to move it down the line for the next person. So if they want to take it, it's at a lesser capability, and they even have to pay for it. I played it solo, though, so I didn't have to worry about that too much other than with the AI opponent. And I thought this one had a really good AI mode. You're working around the board. You're building up areas to get resources and money, so that way you can buy more things and accomplish more actions and get more points by building buildings and areas around Boonlake. That is kind of the theme, and you're racing down the river. That's kind of the timer. And I really enjoyed playing this little puzzle of a game, and I look forward to playing it competitively and not just with the Automa deck. But it was a good Automa. I played it a couple times and I enjoyed it. I really like the action selection and the variability of building out the board with your hex tiles and then using those hex tiles to accumulate items and things and such as you build out on them and open up your player board to earn more income and things from round to round. So quite a bit going on, but nothing too complex. Yeah, I really enjoyed Boonlake. But not as much as I enjoyed my number one, Teotihuacan, City of Gods. This is a game where you're going around with your dice and you're moving them around the board 1 to 3 spaces, I believe it is, and you're going to take actions. And based on the number of dice you have there and the values, you're going to get more and more things. You're trying to build towards helping build the temple and get resources and build other things and do other things and achieve other things. It's a really tight rondel style game with dice placement and dice kind of workers, and you're going to level them up. And as you level them up all the way to a 6, because they're 6-sided dice, they're actually going to revert back to a 1 value at the temple. But then you're going to increase your goods, your income, whatever the case is. It'll benefit you by advancing or ascending your worker. And it also will help speed up the game. So I just really enjoyed this one. It was good thinking. I had to really plan out move to move and where your dice are going to be and where you want them to be and how many you want to be in one spot. Because if all your dice are in the same spot, yeah, you get a good action from that spot. But that's going to take you a while to get all around to all the other spots. So you just really got to plan out on the rondel, make sure you got the right resources you need, and get your dice to the right levels and in the right place at the right time, and then see who has the most points after I think it's 3 rounds of Eclipse. And yeah, another one I just played solo, but it played fun and it played pretty much the same, I imagine, as a multiplayer game. So I look forward to playing this one again, as well as my favorite game from July. But the top 3 were all great games. The other 2 were not bad either. None of these games that I played this month were games I would avoid in the future. So enjoyed them, but the top 3 are really standouts. I think I like all 3 of these better than the 5 or 6 I had from last month. So a good month for new games for me, and perhaps 1 or more of these will show up at the end of the year. If you want to see that, you have to subscribe and stick around. Leave a comment below what you played in July and what you think of what I played. If I kind of had them ranged in the wrong order or whatever the case is, leave a comment below and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. I appreciate it. It really helps out, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye.